What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And finally, we have some good news. The new stimulus package or the next stimulus bill from the Democrats includes the stimulus checks, the unemployment extension update, money for small businesses through the PPP. I have all the details for you in this video. We're going to dive a little bit deeper, and I'm going to give you guys the details that you have been asking me for from this morning's video. So I'm going to give you all the details. Let's jump right into it. But first, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or hit the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel. My wife and I do all the research for you every single day so we can bring you all the information in a quick, concise video. And don't forget to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new upcoming videos. We're going to have a lot of information coming out about the new stimulus check in this bill, the unemployment extension update, and the election. I will keep you guys updated as soon as new information comes out. Okay, first up, this is the actual bill. They're calling it the HEROES Act Revised, or what some people are calling the HEROES Act 2.0. Notice up here in the top of my screen that it is 2,152 pages long. You can just look here and there's 2,152 pages in this bill. It's pretty crazy. I will sometimes be referring back to this document for the actual wording, but if you read this stuff, it's unless you're a lawyer and you actually want to read through 2,100 pages, a lot of this stuff is just a nightmare to read through. But I will be referring back to this document for certain things. Like, look at this. Look at this. 26,850,000,000 shall be distributed to each state. It's just like, and then you have to read through all this legal jargon. So I'm going to just give you guys the highlights of what is important to you guys and what is important to actually get this bill passed through Congress and through the Republicans. So that is also very important because if the Republicans don't pass this, then this won't really matter. So I got to give you all those details. Also, I want to let you know that Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin are still negotiating. They talked this morning for 45 minutes and they have plans to talk again tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of information coming out about what they're negotiating on, if they're going to pass it, what the president wants to do. Remember, I said in this morning's video, if you didn't catch it, you should go back and watch that video. The thumbnail looks like this. So I'm going to be giving you all the details of this stuff as it comes out. Also, tomorrow night is the government shutdown at midnight. If they cannot pass the government shutdown bill in the Senate, we will see the government shut down right as the presidential debates start tonight. Me and my wife will be jumping on probably tomorrow night's 8 p.m. video to give you guys some commentary on the debate. You don't want to miss that one. Okay, this is a one-page summary of the HEROES Act Revised. I also have another more detailed summary that is 87 pages. The summary is 87 pages. So I'm going to be giving you guys some more details. Let's start with this one-page summary because that's the easiest one to digest with the actual details of the check, the unemployment, all the other things that matter to actually get this bill passed. Okay, first up, this is a $2.2 trillion bill from the Democrats. This was good news because there was talk that they were going to do this bill for $2.4 trillion, which would have turned off the Republicans even more. So I was hoping it would come in at $2 trillion to $2.2 trillion to kind of make it, so the Republicans would be happy. And at least they came in at $2.2 trillion instead of $2.4 trillion. So that gives it a higher likelihood to be passed by the Republicans. First up is strong support for small businesses. This also includes a lot of people that sell insurance, have side businesses, side hustles. A lot of people got the Paycheck Protection Program the first time around and got money from the government that was basically forgiven. So it's basically like a stimulus check for small business owners or self-employed people or independent contractor people. If you know anybody like that, you might want to share this video with them. I'm going to have a lot more information for you here coming too, but this looks like another round of Paycheck Protection Program money to help small businesses and struggling nonprofits, provided hard-hit businesses with second loans. Again, these are forgivable loans, and deliver targeted assistance for the struggling restaurant industry and independent live venue operators. Next up is support for the airlines. Additional assistance for airline industry workers, extending the highly successful payroll support program to keep airline industry workers paid. Again, they have a deadline of October 1st, which is Wednesday night at midnight. If they don't receive money, that thousands of airline workers can officially be laid off. They cannot lay them off before then because of this first program, which helped keep tens of thousands of airline workers from losing their job. Next up is money for education and childcare, with $225 billion for schools and education, with $182 billion going through kindergarten through 12 and $39 billion for post-secondary education, and $57 billion to support childcare for families. This is actually more money here, this $225 billion, than had previously been discussed by the Republicans and the Democrats of $105 billion. Next up, to honor our heroes, through $436 billion to provide 1 year's worth of assistance to state, local, territorial, and tribal governments who desperately need funds to pay vital workers like first responders and health workers to keep us safe and are in danger of losing their jobs. So a couple things to note here. Number one, this is actually less than the amount for the state and local governments that was in the problem solvers bill, and this is a significant amount down than what the Democrats wanted from their previous statements, where they wanted $950 billion, almost $1 trillion, and the Republicans seriously balked at that. So they've come down quite a lot. I personally think that it's almost agreeable for the Republicans. I mean, they've come down significantly in their money, and that was the main hurdle from what the Republicans wanted or didn't want from the Democrats. So they negotiated a lot, especially in this main area that was the main hurdle for the Republicans. Also, it doesn't really specify additional hazard pay. The way they've kind of worded it is, it says money to help you keep your job from state and local governments, not necessarily hazard pay. There is a lot of details to read through in the 2,100 pages, which I've been reading through a lot of it, but it doesn't specifically look like there's hazard pay in there. There's more money to help you keep your job if you work for state and local governments. Next up, money for testing, tracing, and treatment of the virus. $75 billion for virus testing, contact tracing, and isolation measures, with special attention to disparities facing communities of color, ensuring every American can access free virus treatment, and supporting hospitals and providers. The updated bill also includes $28 billion for procurement, distribution, and education campaigns for a safe and effective vaccine. This looks like they may provide the vaccine free of charge to any American. We will have to see when that actually comes out, if that happens. That would be a good thing to provide it free if you wanted to take it, then as opposed to having to pay. I mean, it's better to have the government pay than to have you pay, right? I mean, let me know if you think differently. Okay, next up, provides additional direct payments. These are the stimulus checks to be sent out directly to you, cushioning the economic blow of the virus crisis with a more robust second round of economic payments of $1,200 per taxpayer and $500 per dependent. Okay, this is one of those times where we're going to jump over to the actual bill, 2,152 pages, so I can show you guys the wording, because I get a lot of questions. Does this person qualify? Does that person qualify? What are the stipulations on this? Let me just show you. Okay, as you can see here, economic stimulus payments, they're technically tax rebates. You don't have to pay tax on your stimulus check. This is exactly the same it was from the first time around. You can see here, in the case of an eligible individual, there shall be an allowed credit against the tax imposed by subtitle A for the first taxable year beginning in 2020, an amount equal to or the additional rebate determined for such taxable year. Again, this is all legal jargon. Let's scroll down here. You can see, okay, $1,200 per person or $2,400 in the case of a joint return, and $500 multiplied by the number of dependents of the taxpayer for such taxable year. Eligible individuals. For purpose of this section, the term eligible individual means any individual other than any non-resident alien. You can read through this stuff here, but the main thing you want to see here are these income tax limits. So basically, anybody earning less than $150,000 in the case of a joint return, $112,500 in the case of a head of household, or $75,000 in any other case. Okay, let me jump over to the 87-page document that provides a summary. This will be a little bit easier to read. A $1,200 refundable tax credit, that's a stimulus check, $2,400 for joint filers for each family member that should be paid out in advance payments similar to the economic impact payments from the CARES Act with certain modifications. First, unlike the CARES Act, all dependents are eligible for the $500 dependent amount. This allows households with dependents who are full-time students below the age of 24 and adult dependents to also receive the $500 tax credit or stimulus check. What I mean to say here, for all adult dependents, those are people that are basically a dependent on somebody else's tax returns. Everybody should be receiving a $500 dependent check this time around if they don't receive the $1,200 and they qualify for the income and the other stipulations. Second, this section allows stimulus payments or stimulus checks to be made to individuals who provide a taxpayer identification number or TIN rather than a social security number also. Third, these payments are exempt from reduction or offset with respect to past due child support. So let me read that again. I know I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys. Third, these payments are exempt from a reduction from them taking your stimulus check for past due child support. So it looks like as of this wording, if it were to pass with this exact wording, that they could not take your stimulus check for child support from this time around. So I know a lot of people didn't get their stimulus check from the first time around because they owed past due child support. It looks like the wording in this one would let you receive the stimulus check the second time around. If you owe past child support, you would get the stimulus check this time. Last time it went to the person who you owed the stimulus check. So in summary, if you receive the first stimulus check, you're good for the second stimulus check. If you earn under those income thresholds, you're good. If you're on Social Security, SSDI, railroad benefits, veterans, as long as you earn under $75,000, you will be receiving this stimulus check also. If you owe past due child support, it looks like you will be receiving this stimulus check also. If you have children, you will be receiving a $500 check per child. And for adult dependents and for college students under the age of 24, will also be receiving a $500 stimulus check for dependents this time also. Okay, let's go back to our summary here. Protect payrolls by enhancing the new employee retention tax credit that encourages employers to keep employees on the payroll. Next, ensure worker safety by requiring OSHA to issue a strong enforceable standard within 7 days to require all workplaces to develop and implement infection control plans based on the CDC. Next one, preserve health coverage. This is a big one. Protects Americans losing their employer-provided health insurance by making unemployed Americans automatically receive the maximum ACA subsidy on the exchanges, as well as a special enrollment period in the ACA exchanges for uninsured Americans. That is really good news because health insurance is extremely expensive. Trust me, I know I have to pay my own, because I'm self-employed. It's extremely expensive. Restores unemployment benefits, ensuring weekly $600 federal unemployment payments through next January. So $600 per week of unemployment benefits all the way to next January. That's very important because that is when we will actually have a new president in Joe Biden if he's elected, or the re-election of President Donald Trump. That's when that all takes place, actually in January, depending on how the elections go in November. And we will have a new Congress then also, because we know for sure that there will be at least some senators and House of Representative people that get re-elected. They get appointed next January. So this will basically take us through that transition period till when we get new Congress people in there, because we know that there's going to at least be some people that change seats there, and then they could possibly vote on more if we're still in that pandemic at that time. So that is really good news for anybody who has lost their job during this pandemic. This will help you get through that period and find a new job and basically support you until you can find a new job if you lost your job during this pandemic. I know it's been a tough time for millions of Americans. There's still 26 million Americans that are on unemployment right now and have basically lost their job recently. So I understand it's a tough time for a lot of people right now. Okay, next up is housing assistance to help struggling families afford a safe place to live, with tens of billions of dollars in new support to assist renters, so rental assistance, and homeowners make their monthly payments, mortgage and utility payments, and other housing related costs to prevent homelessness. I will be going over more details of that in the next coming videos, so make sure you're subscribed. Rental assistance and mortgage assistance to help you pay your mortgage and your rent during this pandemic is an absolutely amazing thing that they added in there. Next up is strengthened food security, addressing rising hunger with a 15% increase to the maximum SNAP benefit and additional funding for nutrition programs that help families put food on the table, as well as targeted support for farmers and producers impacted by the crisis. And finally, safeguards our democracy with new resources to ensure safe elections, an accurate census, and preserve the post office. So if you have any questions, ask them down below in the comments. I will try to address them in upcoming videos. If you have questions about certain things in this bill, ask them down below. If I see the certain questions coming up a lot, I will address them in upcoming videos. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on new videos. Click the bell icon if you want to be notified when we go live. I will update you guys on what is going to happen with this bill. Are the Republicans going to support it? Is the president going to support it? Is it going to pass? When are we going to get the checks? When are we going to get the unemployment? I'm going to keep you guys updated as we learn information. I will update you guys and let you know. We typically have new videos going live at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned to our 8 p.m. video tonight for more videos. And also, I'm going to tell you what that medal is right there. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of details on that. So I will keep you guys updated. Thanks for watching. You can click these videos to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.